Hi guys, welcome back to another reaction video here on Our Eyes Your Eyes. I'm ready to watch episode 6 of season 2 of Made in Abyss. But before starting this video, I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell, leave a like to support me, and of course join me in this depressive adventure. Okay, in the previous episode we saw that Belaf is asking Rico to choose one of those three options, disgusting options, and let's see what Rico is going to reply. Let's see if she agrees, let's see if she can change things. Are you ready to join me with these? Check it out. Oh! What did you decide? Nanachi woke up! Eh? Oh, no. No, Nanachi, what are you saying? No! Oh, no. Please remember. Exactly. Let's go all together. I mean, even Mitty can come, but... Tell Ueko! Tell her! Yes. Oh, come on, do something. You can't? Oh my, Majikaja can't see her that she's there, right? I hope he doesn't understand that that's her. No! Don't say... Don't say the name. Who's there? Is it Faputa? Ah, yeah, she was talking about that in the previous episode. Let's see, because she also wanted to see it, so what's that? Oh. It's like an octopus. Okay. Oh, okay. So, if they want to go out, they are going to be cursed. I mean, they are going to be stopped. No, Rico. Oh, no, that's true. I mean, Prushka is still on that Hollow's hands. But in the meantime, Reg could have come back or not? Oh, Prushka, no. Well, these seems the balloons that even Bondordo had. Do you remember? I mean... That's Prushka! What the F? She's prettier than before, definitely, but... Okay, let's take it. What's that? Okay. Maybe even Prushka will have a great role. Of course! Prushka. Oh, what the F? But I still believe that that man, I mean, that Hollow is the sage that we saw at the beginning of the story. I mean, that the old man who was native. Oh no! Where? So it became a big with the time. Exactly, yeah. Where is Reg? We need him, I guess. Oh! Even this hollow is pretty big. Oh! No, wait! So Weko is not the third sage! As I was telling you! Juroimo. Weko was supposed to be the third sage, as I was telling you, yo! But who was Juroimo before? I mean, when they were the Genja group. In ancient power. Ah! Who's that? Ah, the cook! Okay. Mugi. They are going to fight for it. Hmm. It's their reality, it's their village now, so. Yeah, I was expecting this from Rico. Because Rico is super important, I told you that. Exactly. Oh, come on, Weko, you can't do anything? Ah, maybe. Let's see. Oh no. But wait, so one of the three sages is over? Oh no. No, Ma-san, where are you going? Oh, wait, she cut her hair? She cut her hair! Oh, wow. Let's defend this place. At least she can be useful for them. Oh, mama. Oh, Rico, be careful. Oh my, Reg, where are you? Wow, look how much Kaja. I'm so happy that he's helping her. Huh? Oh my! Let's see where they are going now, because I think that they can't go so far. No, maybe that's like a... Yes, 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 I was thinking that, yeah. It's like a barrier. Exactly, that stopped, so it can't go out from there. Wow, Rico, what a boss! See, the fact that she knows the language now, she can communicate with them. That's so great. Oh no! Is it over? Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Let's hope everything is over, right? Never say never here. Wow, Rico, good job. Now they can help you to go ahead. That's true. She is intelligent, come on. I mean, Liza's kid. Hmm. Yes, quite a lot. Mm. Mm. And the leader is on top of the abyss, I mean, on Earth. Earth. Uh, but until she can offer the air, it's fine. But when she has to offer something else, it's a problem. Oh, I told you that he's back! No, no, it was too good to be true. No! No, Masa! No! Oh, no, here we go. No, Masa. Maybe she can stop that by screaming. No. That's it. Bruska! Bruska! What? Maybe she can sing. I mean, it was an instrument, yeah. Oh, what's going to happen now? Whoa, what was that? What was that? Is that Reg? No? Who's that? Reg! No! Wait, why? Why? Why he is having... Huh? What? No, 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 wait. Oh. No, in fact, Reg has a darker skin. Why? No F way! I mean, Reg can be controlled by Prushka? No F way. But now even the helmet changed, yo. Eh? No way. Vasukian. No! I don't trust him. The queen? Who was the queen? Oh. But who was the queen? That creature we saw now. Ah. Oh, my son is safe. I'm so happy. He's the other sage, so... Oh, no! No, I have a bad feeling. Don't tell me they have to sacrifice her. And then Reg will remember. No. No, please remember, Reg. No, you have to remember before it's too late. Eh! Good! Mm-hmm. Because she was there even before. Oh, finally. Exactly, tell us the story. I'm ready. Yeah. Uh-huh. I was! The princess, so Faputa was a princess. Anyway, there's no turning back, so let's tell us. Eh. The clock! The clock! Reg! Reg, yes! He was scared by Reg! Oh my. What's that? Ah! that on the compass she had at the beginning. Okay guys, another immense episode finished. Look, as much as I was telling you in the previous episode, I love Made in Abyss, and I'm here today too telling you my long thoughts about what happened during this episode. As much as for what happened to the previous one, I made some notes because I don't want to skip anything. And yeah, I can confirm you once again that this is one of my favorite stories. But anyway, in this episode, we saw that Nanachi and Mitty are together and Riko has to decide. But at a certain point, we understood that Riko decided to do something actually. And unfortunately, we don't know what she decided because she was not able to say it because Magikaja was stopping her. Look, I would have liked to know what she decided sincerely because in the previous episode, at the end of the previous long commentary, I was telling you, what if Riko is asking Belaf, can I give you one of my eye, one of my leg, and one of my organ, so I don't have to lose the other eye, the other leg, and all the other organs? Actually, look, I think that was the best option, but okay, we will never know what Riko decided to do, sincerely, and I have to thank Magikaja, because at the beginning of this story, I thought, okay, Magikaja is there, maybe he is one of the Genja group, one of the members, even if at the beginning I was making a mistake, because I thought that Magikaja was Vasukian. But I still wonder, who was Magikaja? What member of this Genja group was he? That was so interesting to know. But anyway, and he was stopping her because he was saying, look, many times it happened that when people were deciding to do something, they had to lose everything. So now I open a bracket. What if even Liza was confronting Belaf when she was descending the abyss once again and she couldn't come back anymore? What if she also desired to gain something in particular, or she wanted to exchange something with something else? As much as I was telling you in the previous commentary, I was giving you even this option. What if Liza saved Riko? Because we know that Riko was born in the abyss and she was born stillborn. So what if Liza was requesting something specifically, like please save my daughter, and Belaf was telling her, look, if you wanted to save your daughter, you have to give me something in exchange. So what if she was sacrificing herself, and maybe Magikaja saw her at that time sacrificing herself in order to gain that relic that was able to revive Riko? And if this is the option, it means that Liza is dead at this point, or she was transformed into something, maybe into a hollow too, maybe she was losing her arms, her eyes, her legs, we don't know, her organs too, but yeah, this is pretty interesting. Did Magikaja already met Liza or not? Because it's like as if throughout all these episodes, Riko was always saved by others, as if she had to be saved. And yeah, once again we remark the importance of this character. But anyway, yeah, I was wondering why Magikaja was so fast to protect Riko from what she was deciding, even if we don't know what she said. And then we understood that Nanachi could wake up and she could talk to Riko, but I don't know why. I felt as if Nanachi was not herself, as if she was under a spell, or as if she was hypnotized somehow, because the fact that she was saying, no, look, Riko, I'm fine here, you can go ahead without me, that's not something that Nanachi would have said. Also because Nanachi decided to start this journey with Riko and Reg and Prushka and Mania. That's why I feel that was really strange. Nanachi would have never left them alone, and that's why I'm so surprised of her reaction. I mean, whatever it is, I know that Mitty, she was the most desired thing for Nanachi, that means Haku. In this case, I don't understand her behavior, and that's why I think that she felt as if she was, under a spell, and she couldn't rebel or she couldn't be herself anymore. Also because in the previous episode, Belaf was saying that Nanachi was sleeping under this smoke, and that's why I'm thinking, okay, that was not Nanachi completely. I hope that. Because I don't want to lose Nanachi. She is one of my favorite characters, and I really like what Riko said later. That means even Mitty can come. I mean, Nanachi and Mitty together, let's go ahead in this adventure. I am definitely sure that they will find a way to save them, and Nanachi will be able to bring Mitty too, so they will not separate anymore. But the price to pay in order to do something like this will be atrocious, in my opinion. Just really hope that Nanachi will regain her consciousness. She will understand that even if the most desired thing for her is to have a Mitty again, she also promised to follow Riko and Reg in this adventure till the end, and she can't miss that point. She has to follow them, and she has to go together with them. Also because maybe there are other things to be discovered by Nanachi too. I mean, even if we know that Nanachi knew about Bondorudo, knew about his project and whatsoever, maybe there is even something else regarding her as a Hollow that she still doesn't know and she still has to discover. So I really hope that Nanachi follows them. Please, Nanachi, go back to yourself. And then we saw that Riko goes out from that cave of Belaf because, of course, Majikaja, even in this case, and Ma-san on the other case, they are trying to save Riko, and by taking her out from the cave, she was able to be spared, and she didn't have to go ahead with her decision finally, unfortunately. But we see even in that case that Weko doesn't want to be recognized. She said it already in the previous episode that if the Hollows are finding her or they are discovering her as much as the sages, something bad is about to happen. So it's like as if she has to cover her identity, and nobody has to understand that that's Weko. Also because if they understand that that's Weko, it means that she escaped from that sacrifice hole. It means that something went wrong. Because Weko is supposed to stay over there forever because of the pact she made, maybe, or because she was sacrificed in order to create this village. Then another thing that we discover in this episode is that sometimes the Hollows like to create this sort of a festival in which they are making the luring, that is this procedure in which they are having fun, but at the same time they can be destroyed. So even in this case, guys, as much as I was telling you so many times, I find a parallelism with the Divine Comedy, because over there too there is this concept of the contrapasso. Here it's well underlined in this case, because these Hollows, they really wanted to find their way to have fun, let's say, by trying to capture this creature all over again, even if they can't go outside of the village, and also because they can't go out from this village, but at the same time they are risking their existence because they can be captured by this creature and they can be dissolved. I mean, they can be destroyed. So the contrapasso is this. I mean, you want something, but on the contrary, something is happening that is exactly the opposite of what you desire. And that's why, yeah, I really think I would like to interview the author of Made in Abyss to ask him if he knows about Dante Alighieri, because that would be a great question in my opinion. But definitely you see that these Hollows, they are chained inside this dimension, inside this village, and by knowing that they can't go out anymore, they are just trying to find a way to have fun, or they are just trying to find a way to waste some time, because they have to stay over there forever. It's supposed to be like this, even if later Vasukian is saying that their life, their existence is so short that they will not be able to meet the other queen that is coming. So we understand that there is no escape from there, so they have to find a way to waste their time to spend the time by doing something. And that's pretty sad if you think about it, because it's like, as much as I was telling you in previous commentary, when the souls are trapped over there because of their sins, because they were so greedy that they wanted to know more, they wanted to gain lots of stuff that they were not supposed to be gained, and the price they had to pay is that they can't escape anymore from there. So that's really, really sad if you think about it. But we also know that by doing what they are doing thanks to the luring, even the value of the village is increasing. I mean, this village becomes enriched thanks to this procedure, thanks to this sort of festival, as much as it was said in the episode. And that's creepy, because it means that by enriching the power of the village, other souls have to be destroyed for the fun of themselves, but also because of the village itself. So it's like as if the village is becoming an entity that is consuming the souls that are living in it. And that's quite disgusting. I noticed the one thing, guys, when we see Ueko commenting what Riko is discovering. That means, for example, in the episode where Riko is saying, look, even if they like to hunt these creature that is appearing, they also don't understand that by doing this they can be slaughtered. And Ueko was totally fine. She was not making any sort of expression, sad or angry expression whatsoever. She was like, oh yeah, that's the truth. I mean, we are talking about the souls that are being condemned, cursed, and slaughtered, but she was not having any sort of a facial expression, as if that's so common to her, or as if she experienced even something worse than this. And that's why she's not surprised anymore. Also because in this episode, finally, it was confirmed what I told you in the previous episode. That means that Ueko is no more the third sage of the village, but she was replaced by somebody else. And in fact, even in the previous episode, I was telling you, look, that's quite strange that Ueko, as the third sage, is confined over there in the sacrifice hall, while Vasukian and Belaf, they are outside. I mean, I think that the fact that Ueko protested the moment in which Belaf and Vasukian wanted to create the village in that specific way, I open a bracket, we still don't know, and in fact, in the next episode, Ueko is going to tell us all the story, but she said in the previous episode that she didn't agree of the way in which they wanted to create the village. So I think that from that moment, she abandoned the role of the third sage and she was replaced. And at the same time, she was confined and sacrificed in the sacrifice hall. But anyway, yeah, I find her attitude so creepy, so strange. I can't comment it because it's like as if she didn't even care about what was happening, as if something like this was totally fine, totally normal, while Riko, on the other side, she was really scared and she was petrified. But of course, Riko is a human child, and even Ueko is still human, because we need to remember that Ueko is not transformed into a hollow. So, as much as I was telling you in the previous episode, what if Ueko sacrificed the Faputa and she became like this because she really wanted to stay human, or at least she said that she wanted to become something beyond human, and that's why something bad happened. So we needed to wait the next episode with the entire story, finally. I feel as if Ueko is not just the poor girl that she was confined over there, she was staying over there without meeting anybody else anymore, etc, etc. I think that as much as she is also admitting to Riko, she did something really bad, and her attitude in this episode is confirming me that she can be really evil if she wants. Let's stay tuned and keep on watching. I'm really curious about her. Another thing that is happening in this episode is that Rico is going back to get Prushka, and for a second I was forgetting about Prushka because I thought that something else was about to happen thanks to this luring, but we see that now Prushka changed because this hollow was curving her, and he was trying to find maybe the essence of a Prushka or her real value. When Prushka is given to Rico, she is prettier now, as much as I was saying during the reaction, because she changed even the shape. She was really modified now, and we understood that Prushka is still essential. I mean, even if after the ending of the movie, we thought, okay, now Rico just wanted to get this white whistle together with her, because it's a way to bring even Prushka in her mind and even in her heart throughout this adventure. Also because Rico didn't want to abandon her, also because she couldn't stop Bondorudo from doing what he did to Prushka. As much as it was announced in the movie, Prushka is having a great value. She's so precious, and in fact even Bondorudo kept doing experiments on her because he really believed in her value. So I think that even in this episode you understand that no matter the fact that Prushka is gone, physically speaking, but she can still be there as a soul, as an entity, as a value. And I really liked the way in which this new white whistle is presented to us, because it's so beautiful actually, and it quite resembles the beauty of Prushka, because even Prushka was really cute and she had to face lots of disgusting moments in her existence that I'm so happy that Rico is still there treasuring her and they can still go ahead together somehow. That was really awesome. But anyway, Prushka now is transformed into this precious instrument, and at the end of the episode we see what happens, but I'm talking to you about this later. She is an instrument. We need to understand if, no matter what happened in this episode, Prushka has even another ability that we still don't know, or if Rico is going to use her as much as she used her in this episode, even if it's sad to say that she used her, but let's say that she was helpful, it's better. And always talking about this attachment that Prushka has towards Rico, I want to say that it was so beautiful to see that even this hollow that was carving Prushka was saying that this white whistle, I mean this instrument, this precious value is going to last until Rico is there. I really like this sentence, because you understand that from the curse that Prushka was living, thanks to Rico, now Prushka has a chance to change her existence and being so helpful for real, and being helpful for people who didn't want to use her, who didn't want to massacre her, who didn't want to torturing her. I mean, all these bad things. Rico is something else, and by doing this, Prushka is another chance to live somehow, even if she is not physically speaking over there, but she's there as a soul, as much as I was saying. And this reminds me in the previous episode when they were talking about hollows, because even hollows, they were said that they are losing their body, but they are not losing their soul. So I think that even for Prushka, that's the same. And I really liked the fact that Rico came back to get her, because it was a way to keep that promise that Rico was making at the end of the movie, when she said that she wanted to have Prushka with her and she would have never get rid of her. That's so amazing, and that's why even later in the episode Prushka is coming to help her, because she saw that Rico was coming back to get her, and she was now over there abandoning her. That's so beautiful. I really love that. Because it's like as if now Prushka has another owner, let's say, or anyway, she belongs to something else right now. She abandoned the idea of being part of Bondorudo as a father and daughter relationship, a strange relationship, but now she has friends. And I still remember in the movie when she was saying to Rico, that would be nice if I join you. The real thing I wanted to do was to join you, to come with you. And at that time Rico was saying, please come with us. Don't stay over there. But at that time for Prushka there was somebody else more important than Rico and Reg and Nanachi, and she had to make a choice. But now that that thing is over, now Prushka really knows where she belongs to, and it was so beautiful. And then we are talking about this creature that is appearing during the luring procedure, during the luring process, let's say. And this creature is said it passed lots of balancing moments, and that's why this creature was also able to go out from the village. But of course, she was never coming back until this moment. And now this creature has a target, the market. Because we know that in the market there are lots of hollows who are living over there, and these hollows are kids. I mean, they were kids before being transformed into hollows. So it's like as if this creature wants to englobe these kids, or it's like as if, this creature wants to incorporate the souls of these hollows. I call them hollows, of course, because now they are no more kids. But if you think about that, all these hollows, as much as I was telling you in the previous episode, they were kids. And if you think that these kids, by being transformed after all the bad things there that were happening while this village was created, and even when Bondorudo was bringing some kids downstairs, etc., etc., kids are the key of this story. And we still don't understand why even the human child is so precious to these hollows. I mean, we are not talking about adults here. We are always talking about kids, as if kids are the source, the light of hope, or the source of energy that the hollow needs. That's disgusting, of course, because we see that kids, instead of being, the hope for the future, they are sacrificed here. They are destroyed mentally, but even physically speaking. Wow, it's something that I can't stand. It's my limit, you know that already. By talking about the market, we know that these kids, in this case, are trying to protect this area, I mean, these hollows, because that's the place where they live now. That's the reality which they are in right now, and they don't want to lose even this reality after they lost the previous reality which they were living. Now it's time to defend the one and only reality that it's lasting for them. And even in that case, guys, that was really sad, because you are cursed forever in a place, and somebody is coming to steal you even that place. That means you're gone forever. And I don't want to imagine the suffering they suffered while they were transformed into hollows, because we saw that already through Mitty. I think that that was simply disgusting to see that these kids could have never had a future, could have never had a way, a chance to go out from there, and being confined, being tortured, being chained, being like in a cage forever. The way in which they are trying their best to protect the market area right now, because that's the only reason of living for them, because they don't have other reasons to live anymore. Except for Ma-san, that I'm going to talk about her later, but it seems as if, they are just running around inside this place with no answers, with no change, and they just have to be the victims of this area forever. That's what happened even in the Divine Comedy, because when Dante and Virgilio are entering hell, the first layers, we see that these souls are condemned forever, and they have to create a sort of tunnel in which inside they are all going around as if it's a storm. This tunnel that it's created by these condemned souls is so small that it seems that this tunnel doesn't have an end anymore, and it's like as if they are trapped over there forever, and they are screaming so loud that I remember that even Dante was saying, they are screaming so loudly that I can't even hear my voice because they are condemned forever. So these souls will never go out from hell, and as much as in this case in Made in Abyss, those kids will never go out from there, and they are just running around in that area because they can't go out anymore. It's a pure curse, definitely. And one of these hollow that is trying to stop this creature from going to the market is Juroimo, this third sage. Look, I was waiting, even in the previous commentary I was telling you, let's see who's the third sage? Let's see who replaced Ueko, because there should be another one, of course, if Ueko is no more the third sage. So here we are getting in touch with the Juroimo, and I don't know who he was. During the Genja members, I don't remember him specifically, as much as Vasukian and Belaf, but yeah, that's him. And we know that he's pretty big because he has the ability even to go out in the case he has to confront someone really, really strong, instead of Vasukian and Belaf that they can't go out until this creature is gone. Does this mean that they can't go out, those two, because of the force field? Because we know that even if in this area, in this village, there is no force field, but these creatures seemed to be surrounded by the same layer, let's say, that it's creating this force field. So what if that creature, by coming from the outside of this village, and that means by being a part of the rest of the abyss, is contaminated, let's say, by this force field, and once it's going inside, it's going, of course, to destroy the hollows because they are not supposed to face the force field, but also it can damage even one of the sages. So, of course, the sages, by being the inventors, the creators of this village, they don't want to risk their positions. But this Juroimo seems to be so strong that he wants to confront no matter what this creature. And in fact, we know that Juroimo is using this special sword, but this sword has a problem, because Magikaja is saying that the sword of Juroimo should release an ancient power, but in this case, this is impossible because this sword is confined into a small place, and also because this place is crowded. That means that if there are lots of people, in this case hollows, but anyway, this sword can be used as usual. And this means that we need an open space and we need less people in order to activate it. But I open a bracket. Here we are talking about an ancient power. What does that mean? Does this refer to the fact that that sword was there when these Genja group members reached the bottom of the abyss? They reached the Golden City. They even found this sword that was belonging maybe to the abyss. I mean, it was belonging to the abyss before they reached, and by having it, maybe they could have gained this knowledge, this power that they really wanted to achieve since the moment that they started climbing down the abyss. What if there are other weapons like this sword, and what kind of ancient power is it going to be activated? I'm really curious about all this stuff, because as much as I was telling you in the previous commentary, we don't know who is the creator of these interference units. We don't know who was the creator of the Abyss. Was the Abyss created by humanity? Was it created by something supernatural? Was it created by a catastrophe? I mean, by a natural disaster? We needed to know who or what was the creator of the abyss, because I think that that's the most important question that we still don't know. And at the same time, was that sword over there before the Ganja group arrived? If that's so, who put that sword over there and why? Or who used this sword before them? Was Juroimo going to gain this sword after a battle with somebody else? Maybe somebody more ancient than them, that maybe was confined inside the abyss, and once he or she or it was defeated, the prize was to gain this sword. The only thing we know is that it can't be activated. So anyway, even if we are inside the abyss, maybe this sword can be activated outside the village, because the abyss is enormous, so maybe over there we can use it, but inside the village we can't. So Juroimo used this sword or not? I mean, used this ancient power or not? Because we needed to know that too. Maybe this ancient power was given to this Ganja group by the creatures that they found once they descended the abyss and they reached this golden city. Or maybe they found it randomly without even defeating somebody or something. So I think this golden city has a great background story, and that's why we needed to wait for Weko's flashbacks, because we needed to see what she saw when they reached deep down the abyss. We needed to understand what she discovered as a third sage. And another question that I have is that if Juroimo has this great sword, does Belaf and Vasukian have their own weapons? I mean, their own swords that they can activate other ancient powers? Are these ancient swords or ancient power swords the source of the knowledge they wanted to achieve? That's a great question. I mean, that's a huge question, and we needed to understand that too. But definitely, I still believe that once Reg will remember everything that he lost in his mind, it will be shocking, in my opinion. I mean, we will find a great plot twist here. I'm so sure about it, and I can't wait, because that's one of the hugest enigma of this story. And then another thing regarding this sword is that it's said that it can't be used when the place is crowded. That means when there are lots of people or lots of creatures or whatever. Why? I mean, does this mean that this sword is not used to harm others, but it's used as a key, or it's used as a tool in order to open other areas of the abyss? Because it reminds me the sword in the rock. Do you remember the sword that was used by King Arthur? Okay, and even that sword was super important, because once this sword was released by the rock, it meant that the owner of that sword was becoming super powerful, somehow super great. So what if even Juroimo made the same thing? He found this sword, he took it out from the rocks or from stones, and then he became the third sage. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but it's so interesting to know more about this sword. Now I'm blowing my mind about that. And as much as I was telling you before, it's said that Belaf and Vasukian, they can't go out because they have to wait until the membrane is gone. Does this mean that, as much as I was telling you a few minutes ago, they can't go out, otherwise there is the chance that this creature can attack them and they can be killed and they can't be the sages anymore, and by not being sages anymore they lose everything of themselves and they are risking their existence? You needed to know that these sages are super important, because by being the creators of this village, they were creating a hierarchy. They were putting themselves on top of all these hollows, and they were governing everything. So I'm pretty sure that one of the reasons is because if they go out, they lose their power, they can be destroyed, and they don't want that. They want their supremacy anyway. Or is there another reason? Maybe we know that also the sages, they can't go out from the village. Otherwise, they are destroyed somehow, or maybe they can't because physically they can't. There are these barriers that don't make them possible to go out, maybe. But what if there is another reason why they can't get in touch with these creatures? Because even this creature, by analyzing it, even when Rico is describing it, we see that this creature has 5 horns, I mean 5, kind of cylindrical things that are blue. Even the body is strange because it doesn't have a shape. I mean, inside there is a sort of a shape, but outside it's like as if, it's surrounded by this membrane, and this membrane, it reminds me, the force field, but it can be something else, actually. It's quite strange, because we know that it's coming from outside of the village, so it's coming from the abyss. So what if this creature is coming from the bottom of the abyss? Because we didn't reach it yet. I mean, there is still the 7th layer. So what if in the 7th layer there are these sort of creatures that are going to dissolve you, they are going to subliminate you, I mean, they are going to erase you. That's another creepy thing that I think that in season 3, or if there's another movie, we will get in touch with them for sure. And going back to what I was telling you before regarding these hollows who wanted to protect the market, even Mugi arrived. I mean, now we know her name. And I think that she was also part of the Ganja group, sincerely. And I have to say that this Mugi has like a sort of a motherly instinct towards Rico, because she says to Rico that she doesn't want her to be eaten by that creature, that she has to run away, that she has to protect herself and protect her value, because we needed to know that she's a human child, and we know that human kids are super precious over there. So in the case she's eaten by the creature, in the case she's dissolved by that creature, it's a waste. But then Mugi was saying that it's better if she doesn't destroy herself over there because of that creature, because she has to use her value for Reg and Nanachi. What does that mean? I mean, it's like as if Mugi knows about Rico more than she thinks. It's like as if she knows why she has to use that value she has for Reg and Nanachi. Is it just because they are friends and Mugi thinks that it's good that she's wasting, let's say, her value for them instead of that creature? I mean, are these sentences put like these for nothing? I mean, it's like as if we are talking randomly, or there is another meaning behind all these. I think the second one, because we know the importance of Rico in this story, and it's like as if every time we are going deep down the abyss, there are some creatures, some entities, some things that wanted to protect Rico, that wanted to rescue Rico, that wanted to warn Rico of what's happening. So yeah, it's like as if she's so precious that nobody wants her to be destroyed, nobody wants her to be in a dangerous situation, like with Ozen too, do you remember? I mean, there are so many coincidences here, and I think that these sentences are also a proof that there has to be an important connection with Rico and this abyss somehow. Not just the fact that she was born there, stillborn, but I think in general there has to be some other reasons why she's so important, and I think that once she will get at the bottom of the abyss, she will understand that. But yeah, it's like as if Mugi knew something, but she didn't want to tell her directly. She just wanted to say, look, don't waste your time here, go ahead with your friends. I don't know, but I got that feeling, sincerely. And maybe, yeah, she knows something too. So stay tuned and keep on watching. I think Mugi will tell us something else later. Or maybe by the fact that Weko now is going to reveal the entire story, because even Mugi doesn't know that story. Maybe there's nothing else to say. Maybe I'm just guessing something that is wrong. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's watch it. As much as I was telling you, when Riko was describing this creature while she's looking at it, I like that when Ueko is saying that nobody knows about that creature, Riko is saying, is it true? I mean, is it true that you don't know anything about it, that you have never seen it? Because it means that even these hollows have something untold, something that they also don't know, that they also have secrets in front of them and they can't solve them. Riko in this episode was showing us her will to explore, to investigate, to be sure to know everything and to find answers. I really like Riko because I can find myself in her. I mean, I also like to disclose things, to understand things, to discover things, so I really like this character. But yeah, as much as I was telling you, this creature has these cylinders as eyes, and this creature has 5 eyes. I don't know if this is meaningful or not, sincerely, because they didn't tell us anything else rather than this and the fact that it could be a force field sensing organ. So yeah, of course this is another important thing, because if this is an organ that can sense the force field, maybe later in the future Reg, Nanachi, Riko can use this creature to defend themselves from the force field. I mean, if they have to climb up the abyss once this adventure is finished, what if they can use this creature to sense where there's the force field so they can avoid it? Or what if they can go inside this creature, as much as we saw that there was this rocky thing inside? I mean, these cylinder's eyes were part of this stone, as if it was a stone, and this thing was surrounded by this purple barrier or something. Yeah, so now I'm thinking, what if there is a chance to climb up the abyss? Because if this creature is coming from the 7th layer, for example, this area, this village is on the 6th level. So what if, thanks to this creature, Riko will be able to climb up the abyss together with Nanachi and Reg once they will finish the adventure? This could be awesome too, at least it's a chance. Then we don't know if it's possible or not. But the only thing we know is that this creature can destroy hollows. But what if nothing is happening to human child? I mean, what if nothing is happening to human kids? Because even in the previous episode, when Riko was trying to reach Ueko, that sacrifice hole was not having force field, but she also was not able to get in contact with Ueko or with those sticky creatures surrounding Ueko. So she couldn't be harmed. That's why I'm saying, what if this purple creature can't affect Riko because she's still a human child and she's not a hollow? Let's see what's going to happen. But yeah, that was really interesting to think actually. Or I have other questions about this creature. Of course, one of the main questions is where is it come from? I mean, is it coming from the 7th layer? Is it coming from the 6th layer? Can we meet these creatures somewhere else throughout the abyss that we didn't meet them before? Is this creature guided by something, by someone? Because this creature seems to be pretty intelligent actually, because it's always going through the market in order to catch kids, I mean hollows that were kids in the past. So what if this creature is guided by somebody, by something? I don't know, but it seemed as if this creature had a mission somehow. It always wanted to go to the market. Let's see. Another thing we know about this creature is that it's super light because it could float in the air even if there was not the force field. But actually, if it's a creature that can sense the force field, I think it's pretty important. And even if it was disappearing at the end of the episode, does this mean that it can come back somehow. Of course, still talking about Rico, I really liked her plan, how intelligent she is, how smart she is, the way in which she wants to help all these hollows, also because she was rescued by a hollow. I mean, she was rescued by Ma-san when there was supposed to be that other balancing moment. So it's like as if she wanted to return the favor after she was saved, and in fact she's saying something like this even later to Mugi. So I think that Rico is not just kind, but she's also fair, and that's another quality that I like so much about her. I think that she is an important, essential character for this story, and in this episode it was confirmed that without her, things would have been impossible, because the fact that in the previous episode she wanted to learn the language, she wanted to get in touch with these creatures more and more, she wanted to find a point in common, she wanted to find the way in which they could create an alliance, a bond. That was pretty awesome, and only Rico, as much as I was telling you before, can do something like this. I mean, Reg and Nanachi have different qualities, and only Rico is able to perpetrate this adventure and reach her goal thanks to these sort of abilities. I think that she was pretty awesome, the way in which she was communicating, the way in which she was creating a team with Magikaja and all the others. That was really, really great. And in order to do what she wanted to do, because she was asking a favor to Magikaja, and of course we know that when she's asking something, she has to donate something in order to receive what she wants. She was giving her hair. And at least I was happy that she was offering the hair only, because if it's about hair, they can regrow and it's not a big deal. But if it's about eyes, legs and organs, they can't come back. So I really like that Magikaja accepted just the hair, and he didn't want to ask anything else. And we know that, yeah, Magikaja even changed the form. He could transform somehow thanks to this donation, and Rico could get what she wanted. I think that she was asking cooperation, she was asking help, and she also wanted to help by asking these hollows to start the fire and whatsoever. So I think she found the perfect combination, the perfect way to exchange things, exchange values. And this is something that only Rico could have done, because she knew the language and she knew how to approach them. Good job, Rico. That was really awesome. And I found her so brave in this episode. I mean, you saw her as if she was the boss of all the hollows. And for the first time, the hollows were following a human child. Was that the first time? Or even Eliza, when she was descending the abyss, did the same thing? I mean, what if even Liza was pretty helpful, was really useful for them somehow? And what if even Liza was helping them defeating this creature in the past? That could be possible, and that's why maybe even Mugi realized who she is. Maybe Ueko knew Liza too, and when she heard Rico, she was like, oh, okay, as if she knew that she heard about her somehow. We don't know. What if also all these other hollows, as much as Ma-san, they know about Rico already, because maybe Liza talked about Rico to them. We don't know, but I really like even the relationship that Rico is making with Ma-san, because even if Ma-san is a hollow, instinctively Ma-san wants to help her, wants to protect her. It has that instinct, but it has this instinct because Rico chose Ma-san, or because behind Ma-san there is somebody important that we still don't know. Look, I give you even my worst option, even if it's something really stupid, I'm going to tell you now, so I'm going to share with you my thoughts as always. What if Ma-san is Liza? Because every time Ma-san is protecting Rico, she wants to sacrifice herself to protect Rico. She wants to stay in the middle so she can't be attacked. She's always crying when they are trying to separate them. I mean, what if it can be Liza who turned into a hollow and is just trying to defend her daughter? Maybe, okay, that's the worst option, okay? Don't take it into account, sincerely, but this creature, this hollow, keeps saying, Ma, Ma. I mean, what if it's mama? What if it's mother? Something that she wants to say, but she can't, rather than Ma, Ma. That means I am your mother here. I really like this bond. And even if in 2 episodes before that was called friend, I mean, what if it's a special friend because actually it's mother and daughter? We don't know. I just gave you this thought. So now I'm done. I mean, I've told you everything that I think about Ma-san. And yeah, I think that the more we will go on, the more these hollows will help Riko, Reg, and Nanachi to go ahead with their adventure. I think that even Majikaja will help them so much because we know that now Riko and Majikaja, they created a sort of alliance against this creature, and even Majikaja is realizing how strong Riko can be. She can create this sort of authority around herself. So what if even Majikaja is going to join the group? And what if he is also going to reach the bottom of the abyss with Riko? The only problem is that Majikaja can't go out from the village. So maybe we can find a compromise. Maybe Riko can offer something else that is super important so even Majikaja can go out. Or Riko can solve all of the problems surrounding this village so then even the hollows, even the sages are free and they don't have to be confined inside that area anymore. That could be amazing, sincerely. But does this mean that we have to sacrifice Faputa? We don't know, but let's stay tuned and keep on watching. If that's the case, that would be awesome, because the more we are, the better it is. I mean, the more we share forces together, the more we can make it to reach the bottom of the abyss, but most of all, to climb it up. That I think that that's the worst experience ever. And in fact, after Riko could save them from the creature, apparently, she was talking to Mugi, and Riko was explaining that these principles that she has, it's also thanks to what the leader said to her. The leader, of course, it's the leader of the Cave Raiders that we saw even in season 1, who was taking care of Riko and who knew Liza because he was a student of Liza. So he knew many things about her, but even how to educate kids. That was really nice to see that Riko still remembers what she learned before. She still remembers her teacher, even if it's a leader of the group, but it was even a teacher because we know that in season 1 he was teaching them all the steps to take in order to become a Cave Raiders. But I really like the fact that she kept saying good stuff about the leader. She keeps reminding what the leader told her to do, even in the worst cases ever. And yeah, that's the usual thing that we see, sincerely, when you are hopeless, when you don't have anything to think anymore. You always treasure the most important words that you have received from important people. And I think that, yeah, the leader was an important person to Riko. Not just because of the connection with her mom, but because she could learn a lot from him. And in fact, this principle of if I'm saved, let's save others, or if you save me, I'm going to save you, that's really nice. That's a great principle that Riko used it so many times in this adventure. I think that the one and only case in which she felt guilty was the Prushka moment, because in that moment, she couldn't save Prushka, but at the same time, she wanted to repair the mistake she made by taking Prushka with herself forever. So I think that anyway, she could have found a way to make Prushka feel relieved, as much as I was telling you before. But unfortunately, we see that the creature survived. I was expecting this, sincerely. In fact, during the reaction, I was reluctant to believe the contrary, and I was ready to see that something bad was about to happen. And in fact, even in this case, when the creature was about to attack Riko, Ma-san is going to protect her. Look, let me tell you honestly, in Made in Abyss, as much as in many other stories, I like when there is this slow motion. because when there is a slow motion, you understand that something bad is about to happen, or there is a huge revelation, or somebody is coming to save them. I mean, the perfect way to represent the final instance that are the most amazing or the most important ones. So when Riko was seeing that Masan was taken away from her, I think that Riko in that moment remembered when Prushka was having the same destiny. And of course, as I was telling you a few minutes ago, she was feeling guilty at that time because she couldn't save Prushka from Bondorudo. And I think that Riko maybe was believing, oh no, here we go again, it's happening again, I can't rescue her, I can't rescue Masan, I can't rescue a friend. That slow motion was really essential because you see the pathos, you see the tension, you see Riko's eyes that are so intense because it's like as if the loop is going over and over again. Things are repeating, but in this case we see another beautiful scene that I think it's one of the most beautiful scenes of this season 2 so far. That is Prushka, the soul of Prushka, coming back and telling her, please call me. Because I think that even Prushka knows how much she suffered because of Bondorudo, and she knows how much these hollows maybe are suffering too. So the way in which she's coming to Riko and she's saying that she's ready to rescue all of them, because she was not able to rescue any others when she had the opportunity to stop her dead. That was so awesome. Look, and Prushka was so beautiful. I mean, her smile, her face, she was surrounded by light. That is the light that Riko gave her once she had the chance to start all over again together with her. Another adventure. The adventure that she wanted to follow, to start with them. So that was really nice. I think all these details are telling you a lot about this story. They are not just a coincidence. They are just the pieces of the puzzle that they are recreated in order to fulfill the end of it. That was so beautiful. The way in which you see how Prushka is relieved, how she feels good right now compared to the miserable ending that she had at the end of the movie, that was simply disgusting, of course. I really liked even this contraposition. No matter how much she suffered, now she's fine. And she's more beautiful than before, thanks to Riko. I really liked that image. But I noticed one thing, guys. Riko always tries to scream when she wants to stop something from happening. It happened even in episode 2 or 3 of this season 2, I guess. Maybe 3 or 4, sorry. When she didn't want that the hollows were touching Mania, and she was screaming to stop, and at that time the balancing started. Even in this case, when she is screaming, Prushka is appearing. I mean, it's like as if Riko can have this powerful voice inside the abyss that can change stuff, that can change things, for better, of course. But yeah, it's like as if she has a power that we still don't know, that every time she is screaming, everything is changing or everything is stopping. We don't know, but I have noticed this. And it happened even in season 1 when she was confronting Ozen. I mean, Reg was confronting Ozen, and she saw that Reg was almost losing his life, let's say, and she was begging Ozen to stop, but suddenly she was screaming. At this point, when we will reach the end, almost the end of the Abyss, we will get in touch, even in this case, with a huge plot twist, in my opinion, regarding Riko, not just regarding Reg. And then we see that as much as Riko is using Prushka, is using this precious instrument, Reg is coming. I mean, I was shocked, okay? Look, I don't know if almost the same thing happened in season 1 with Ozen. I mean, I have to go back and watch that part, but in the case, I'm going to write you here down below my answer, because even in that moment, I think that even the helmet changed and made that sort of a skull. I mean, there was this symbol. I don't know if I saw it before or not. I remember that even in season 1, Reg started attacking Ozen as soon as Riko was screaming. So is it just because of Prushka? Or is it because it's Riko? Riko that is just commanding him to do something. And in this case, everything is amplified. I mean, it's becoming even bigger because of the white whistle. I mean, because of Prushka. I don't know. Was Prushka used for Riko in order to call Reg? So that's just the meaning of it. I mean, that's why Riko, by using Prushka, can be heard louder than just a usual scream by Reg. Maybe. So Prushka just wanted to be so useful right now that she was used as a tool in order for Reg to come and save Riko, because we know that Reg always has to save Riko. We still don't know why, but I think it's part of his lost memories, and also due to the fact that he was talking to Liza somehow. But the thing is that Reg always has to save Riko, no matter the circumstances, no matter how far he is coming. So it's like as if he's attached to Riko. It's like as if maybe he made a pact with somebody and he became so reliable for Riko to stay always next to her. Yes, I told you even in the previous episode my idea. Maybe Liza asked the Reg to be like a friend for Riko, to be an assistant of Riko, to protect her, to make her reaching the bottom of the abyss because she has to say something important to her. The difference here, Reg's helmet, Reg's collar here, and even the shape that we see inside of this helmet, I mean this symbol that is appearing, they are turning white. And this is something new. I mean, it didn't happen in season 1. If I'm right, it didn't happen. And because I don't remember sincerely something like this. I think that I remember the symbol on the helmet. Is it the same that I saw in season 1? After Ozen, or after the moment in which they were inside this cave and Riko was alone because Reg was sleeping? I don't remember, one of the two. Was that Ozen or that moment? I don't remember. But after he used the incinerator at that time, Riko was asking Reg, what's that symbol on the helmet? And he was explaining some things. I mean, he was explaining how many shots left he had. So I don't remember if that was the same symbol or not, but I'm going to search for it later. But anyway, what I saw is that this symbol seems to be like a skull. I mean, I saw the nose, I saw the mouth of this skull or something like that. Does this mean that Reg can be so powerful that he can even kill others? And that's a part of his memories, a part of the things that he doesn't remember still. He didn't even use the incinerator this time. He was just following what Riko was asking him to do because she was whistling. We don't know. Is that it? Can Reg be even more powerful than just this? Just what we saw in this episode, or not? The only thing that is different is that he couldn't use the incinerator this time. So what if he was using the incinerator by being commanded thanks to the white whistle? We don't know what can happen, sincerely. And we even saw that Reg, by getting in touch with this creature, the creature was dissolved. I mean, it was not even existing anymore. It disappeared, but did it disappear for real? Or can this creature reappear somehow? Does Reg have this immense power to destroy creatures like this? I mean, in 3 seconds, thanks to the white whistle of Riko? Can a white whistle erase these creatures? And the fact that only Riko can whistle, because Prushka gave her the right, let's say, to whistle that white whistle, does this mean if somebody else is whistling other white whistle, what can happen? are these white whistle connected to the interference units at this point? Because if the white whistle is whistled, we know that Reg is an interference unit, because the robotic creature of the previous episode said that you are an interference unit different from what I am, but you are. So what if the white whistles are the owners, or they can be the owners of these interference units, or they can control them for their own interests? That could be awesome to understand that too. And even Reg's skin was different. It reminded me the movie in which, as I told you already in the previous episode, he lost control. I mean, there is a moment in the movie in which Reg is having this darker skin. He's losing his mind. I don't know why. And he also doesn't know why, but yeah, I think that Reg is the most mysterious character here, and we could stay here for hours guessing, but we will never know until we go ahead. And fortunately, maybe, in the next episode we will have the chance to understand something. So stay tuned and keep on watching. But that was really awesome. Even the contrast of colors, it was amazing. Everything surrounding Reg was white while he was having a darker skin. Wow, that's awesome. It was like, look, as if he was enlightened. I mean, as if a lightning was thrown on him and he could become darker while he was surrounded by this light. That helmet can have a great importance, in my opinion, and what was represented over there was meaning something for real, something that I still can't understand. Yeah, the only option that I have is that, yeah, maybe when the helmet is changing like that, he can even kill things or kill people without even remembering later. Ah, yeah, let me tell you another thing. This time, the incinerator was not used, so he cannot fall asleep. Actually, this is another great thing, and in fact, later he went to meet Faputa once again, but what if he was using the incinerator at that time? So at this point, is Reg controlled by Rico every time? Or was he controlled even by Liza, because even Liza was a white whistle? So what if even Liza, by whistling, she was asking to Reg to protect Rico forever? Maybe it was an order, it was a command. So as much as Rico is commanding now Reg to do things, what if even Liza did the same? Or what if Liza, thanks to the white whistle, commanded him to lose his memories? It could be possible too. I don't know if it's happening for real. I mean, I don't know if this might be an option, but now we understand that if you have a white whistle and you are the owner of the white whistle, you can control somebody. It can be an interference unit, or is it the possibility that she can control even others? And if you noticed another thing, this helmet that turned white, this color that turned white, even the symbol that turned white, blah blah blah. Even the flowers, I mean, even the petals were white. So in this story, it's like as if white is not something good. It's not a good color. Or, yeah, sometimes yes, because in the case of Prushka, by being the white whistle of Rico, she can save her. Yeah, sure. But what if even this white color can mean something bad instead? As much as I was telling you many times, that could be possible too. Because every time Reg is getting in touch with something white, it means something is happening. But the only thing we know is that Reg, as soon as he used this power, I mean, as soon as he was controlled by Rico, the first time before the second attack, he is saying feelings, scenery, and thoughts, everything came up into my mind, or something like that. What does this mean? I mean, as soon as the white whistle was whistled, he could feel, he could sense, he could understand the scenery, and he could even thought. Wow, this means that the connection that Rico has with Reg is more intense than what we believe. And that's why we still have to understand why Liza and him were talking. at that time when there was the flashback. It was a moment in which they didn't seem enemies. And that's why I'm saying, what if Rico, by being Liza's daughter and by being both white whistles, they can have a sort of a power on Reg. And that's why Reg can feel, can sense things, can think things, and that's why he was coming super fast to save her. And in this case, what if even Liza was whistling and releasing a power of a Reg that we don't know? Another thing that I put in my notes is what Bondorudo was saying at that time in the movie, and in fact here we got the same flashback when he was explaining the intention of the white whistle, especially when it's connected to the owner, because its owner of its white whistle can spread a different timbre. It can portray the true purpose of the relic. This sentence was pretty meaningful in my opinion, because we know that Rico was starting her adventure because she wanted to find lots of relics. Do you remember? And then she was also confined inside of a relic when she was still born. So it's like as if Rico has a deep attachment to relics. What if at this point Liza too became a relic, or she was confined inside a relic? We don't know, but the only thing we know is that this timbre that it's coming out from Rico by using the white whistle can express the true purpose of the relic. So I think that when she was whistling, Rico wanted to be rescued, or wanted that somebody was coming to rescue the situation, and that's why Reg arrived. But I was also thinking, guys, what if Rico is a relic? I mean, Rico, by being born in the abyss, and by being born stillborn, then okay, she was revived by a relic, but what if by being a stillborn creature, she was already becoming a relic too? That could be awesome, for real. Or was Bondorudo talking about Reg, for example? Because we don't know if he's a relic, we don't know if he's an interference unit, we don't know who he is. So maybe when Bondorudo is talking about the true purpose of the relic, maybe he's referring to Reg in this case, because by hearing the timbre, that timbre is portraying, revealing what is the true purpose of the relic. And if Reg is the relic, the true purpose of him being a relic is to save Rico. It could be possible. Or are we talking about Prushka? Because maybe Prushka, by being a white whistle and by being confined into it, what if she is a relic too? And that could be possible. In this case, from her perspective, the timbre can reveal the true purpose of the relic. That means the true intention of Prushka. That means to save Rico. Because Rico, as soon as Rico stays alive, she can also stay alive. See? It depends. It depends how we talk about characters. It depends. This sentence is referred to whom. It's so great. I mean, this story, guys, has different perspectives. And until we don't reach the end, we will never know. I mean, we will never understand if we are right or wrong. But the beauty of this story is that no matter how much you guess, it's always super funny and enjoying and crazy. It's a journey. I think that no matter what's happening at the end, even in this story, the most important thing is what was the adventure to reach the end. Thanks to the events that were happening throughout the time in which Rico, Reg and Nanachi were inside the abyss, and they maybe can climb it up again, they were experiencing a lot. They were discovering things and they were growing together. So that's the most important thing when you start an adventure. What's in the middle? Never what's at the beginning and what's at the end. Because yeah, what's at the end is super fine and it's important and whatsoever. But the way in which you reached the end, it's even more important in my opinion. Then let me tell you another thing. When Vasukian was approaching them, first of all, I don't like him. I mean, I didn't like him since the beginning when he was recruiting believers as a sage, of course, as to make them believe that they had to reach the Golden City. I mean, he was promising a lot, and then they all lost their existences. So Vasukian, I think that he, together with Belaf, they were super disgusting. But second of all, he's talking about the queen, referring to the creature we were talking about before. And as for what you see, Vasukian knows a lot. Vasukian knows that that's a queen, for example. Vasukian knows that the queen is like a nest, that it's made of all these particles that are coming together, and they are creating more and more these queen with this dimension that is enormous. And he also knows that in order to recreate a queen, it takes time. So these hollows who are living inside the village, they will not be able to see another queen coming. So he already anticipates that these hollows are going to die, that their existences will not last longer. As you can see, as a sage, Vasukian reached a certain level of knowledge. He knows many things, and as much as Belaf knows many others, but you understand the importance of these three figures and the way in which they are walking throughout this area, because of course it's their area, it's what they created, and it's like as if they feel super superior than others. And Vasukian is also happy because now that this membrane can't be created for much more time, because a new queen is coming later, he can be able to walk around the village without being scared, without being afraid of this queen coming. Because we know that when the queen was there, he couldn't come out. Now he feels fine, as if the enemy is gone, let's say. But Vasukian is also suggesting Riko to get part of Faputa in order to have Nanachi and Mitty back. Vasukian is suggesting this because he can't stand Faputa, or because Faputa made them become like this, and he wants to get his personal revenge by asking Riko to get part of Faputa, so in the meantime she can get back Mitty and Nanachi, but from the other side, maybe they can become free again. I mean, is Faputa the origin of all evil, or is Faputa the origin of everything that happened to her? Because you needed to know that Weko in the previous episode was saying that Faputa was the creation of the village. I mean, we saw even thanks to that flashback of hers, that when the village was created, even Faputa exploded out. I mean, she was created, and her expression was really evil. So what if they turned into hollows because of Faputa's creation, or because of Faputa's mutation? That's why I'm saying Vasukian is suggesting this, because he wants the personal revenge. I mean, he wants to go back as before, if he can, because maybe he studied that by taking Faputa's pieces he can go back to normal, or is he planning something else? I don't know. I'm really curious, because Vasukian has never talked too much. We don't know many things about him. In the previous episode we were talking more about Belaf, but I wanted to know more about Vasukian, because he was the one who was recruiting everyone to go deep inside the abyss and to search for the Golden City, because he was believing that it was existing. So does he have an ultimate knowledge that we still don't know? Yeah, during the reaction I was thinking, oh no, now maybe we are going to approach the moment in which Faputa has to be sacrificed in order to have Nanachi and Mitty back. I hope this is not going to happen, sincerely, even if I have heard that we will cry hard in this season. So I don't know if this is going to happen, but maybe Weko is still a possibility for Faputa to be saved, because we know that they were together, we know that they spent time together, so what if Weko can do something, maybe sacrificing herself for the sake of Faputa? The only thing we know is that there is this mysterious aura around Faputa. We needed to know what happened in order to become a Hollow, the relationship that she has with Weko, but at the same time the relationship she has with Reg, because we know that Faputa knows Reg. And in that flashback she was crying hard when she was separated from Reg. So we needed to know, and that's why now Reg is going to meet Faputa again. So I think that maybe in the next or in 2 episodes Reg can start remembering things. I hope so, because that will be the climax. I mean, I can't wait for that moment, sincerely. Faputa is described as the embodiment of a value, but also the embodiment of fears. So everyone is so afraid of her, but everyone is so appreciating her because she's the ultimate level of value. So that's why she is even more important than Riko, who is a human child. She can embody all desires and all fears. She is an ultimate creature. I mean, it's like as if she's something even beyond human, as much as Weko wanted to become. And when Weko is talking, and she's starting explaining everything that happened in the past, because nobody knows Weko over there. I mean, even Mugi doesn't know her because, of course, Weko was confined at the beginning of this story. I mean, when she refused to create the village, because maybe she was against the fact that Faputa was being used in order to create it, she was confined there. So even Mugi doesn't know Weko, and she's never seen her over there, so that's why she can't recognize her. But at the same time, Weko is saying that at the beginning of the story she was managing relics and she was recruiting new believers because she was the 3rd sage, but she was managing relics. Guys, you know that Riko always wanted to get in touch with the relics. She was always touching them, even when she was a guest inside Ozen's house in the 3rd layer, I guess. I mean, she was touching relics and she was always interested in them. Even before starting this adventure in the Abyss, she was having this book with all the relics, information and stuff like that. I mean, Riko was attracted by relics, and now we have the person who was managing the relics in that area. So definitely for Riko is something interesting, something that she has always wanted to get in touch with, because she, by being interested in relics, wants to know more about them. So maybe there will be even the chance that we discover some important relics or some mysterious ones, as much as the one, in my opinion, that we saw at the end of the episode. The last scene was memorable. By opening this huge last bracket before reaching the end of the video, finally, guys, Weko is ready to spill out the truth. Look, I was waiting for this moment for such a long time. I mean, from the beginning of the season, sincerely, because she knows so many things. And I think that as much as she's saying, as soon as she is going to narrate the story as it is, there's no turning back. Because I think that Riko will listen to some Outrageous stuff, of course, as always, but she will also get in touch with the options that she has in order to save Nanachi and Mitty. So, once again, guys, can Riko pay such a price in order to save them? It depends. It depends on the requests, on the circumstances, but I think it would be really hard to listen what Weko has to say, and at the same time it will be really hard for Riko to do what she has to do in order to save Nanachi and Mitty. And at the same time it will be hard for Reg to remember what he has to remember regarding Faputa, because what if Faputa was the best friend of Reg? What if she is Reg's sister, as much as I was telling you? So if we have to sacrifice a piece of Faputa, and if Faputa is Reg's sister, we have to sacrifice his sister. I don't know if he can, sincerely. So as you can see, it all depends what she's about to narrate. And maybe we also discover the power of Reg. We discover who Reg is, and maybe Rico can't handle it. Maybe she can't accept it because something bad is going to be revealed about him. The only thing we know is that Weko at a certain point says, I have never got in touch with the princess. In this episode we were talking about queens, princesses. What if there is even a king at this point? We don't know, but is Faputa a princess? Is she the princess of that realm, I mean that area, that village? Does this mean that Faputa, by being the princess, and those creatures by being the queen, she was born by those creatures? I don't know, I don't have other hypotheses so far. But Weko was talking about the princess in such a distant way, as if she was not spending time with Faputa at all. While in the first episode we see that Faputa, I mean, I don't know her name, her real name. I mean, I don't know if Faputa became Faputa with the name of Faputa once the village was created, or even before that was her name, but you understood what I mean. Now, in the first episode of this season, Faputa was hugging Weko so much, but here Weko is saying that she's not getting in touch with her at all, and she couldn't even receive an audience from her, as if we are talking about a different person, a different entity. What if we discover that Faputa was the real princess of the Golden City, and she was used with disgusting methods, disgusting experiments to become the princess of this village in the worst way, because everything was turning upside down, maybe. So, as you can see, we don't know Faputa's origins. We know that she was a native, maybe, because she was talking another language than Weko, another language than Belaf and all the others. I mean, this Ganja group didn't know her language, and even the language of that old man that we saw at the beginning, who was talking about the curse and whatsoever. So is Faputa coming from the Golden City too? At this point, yes, I think so, because she's speaking that language too, and she didn't know the other language. So, and then we know that Faputa, before going deep down the abyss with the Ganja group by becoming a guide of them, she was not able to have kids. And by not being able to have kids, she was thrown down the abyss. I mean, she was sent down the abyss for this reason. We also know from the flashback of Weko, when the village was born, she was coming out from this creation. Does this mean that Faputa gave birth to the village itself? So, as a contrappasso from Dante Alighieri, she couldn't have kids. Contrappasso, she can create a village. I mean, she can give the chance for hollows to be born somehow, or she can be the mother of this village. Do you remember, guys, the same symbol that Rico was learning about a village couldn't mean a village only, but it was meaning even cradle and mother. So I think that symbol represents Faputa, because she also has all these meanings. That's why it's incredible. We need Faputa. Reg is going to search for her, to talk to her, because she's going to ask her, who am I? Tell me where I'm coming from. Tell me who I am to you, because we needed to know. And at the same time, we definitely are sure that Faputa was sacrificed, because at the beginning of season 2 she was like a normal child or something, but then she transformed. Definitely something was done on her, and she maybe lost her arms or her legs. She was donating something, or somebody else, for example Weko, was donating Faputa in order to become somebody beyond human. Another important thing that Weko is saying is that time inside the abyss is not in sync with the time outside of the abyss. So it means that the more you go deep down the abyss, time is changing, time is extending, or it's reducing, we don't know, but there is a distortion of time. And in fact, as much as I was telling you during the reaction, we saw that clock that was appearing in the previous episode, and we know that Reg was looking at that clock. Do you remember? Was Reg the one who stopped the time over there? Maybe, because that clock was stopped, so it was not moving at all. And that's why maybe this caused the time to be stopped or to be distorted somehow. But Weko is saying because of this, because of the distortion of time, I can't tell you how many years passed. Look, at this point, I'm pretty sure that we are talking about the centuries. Can you imagine? I mean, on top of the abyss, we are the day after. Deep down inside of the abyss, we are 100 years before. Can you imagine? I mean, never say never, but this distortion of time is really important, because when they were descending the abyss at the beginning of season 1, we know that these people were natives. So it means that it was an ancient culture. It means that it was maybe centuries ago. And that's why when they were deep down the abyss, probably time stopped over there, because something happened and they couldn't grow anymore. Or maybe even this distortion of time could cause these children to turn into hollows, or to become something incredibly crazy. Or maybe even this way in which the hollows are represented is because of the effects that the time is having on them through time that is not passing. When I saw these hollows creatures, it reminds me when you go deep inside the ocean. And the more you go deep inside the ocean, the fishes that you can find on top of the ocean, I mean in the first layer of the ocean, are not the same as the fishes underwater, deep down the ocean. Those fishes deep down the ocean, they seem like monsters, they seem like creatures that don't even seem like fishes. While the fishes you find on the first layer, they are totally fine. They are the usual fishes we know, we all know. Even in this case, they started as kids at the top of the abyss, and the more they were going down, the more they were transformed somehow in these creatures. Now we understand that something happened to time, that time is not in sync, and we needed to understand how many days, months, years passed as a difference. So even Rico can understand what's going on. And maybe we can also understand if Liza, if she is still alive and she's deep down in the abyss, she can be still young, or did she increase her age? We don't know. Or, look guys, as much as I was telling you, even if it was a super stupid idea in the previous episodes, I was telling you, what if, thanks to this distortion of time, Rico is Liza? That's why even Reg is always next to Rico. Never say never, okay? I give you even this option, even if it's totally wrong. I'm telling you from now on that it's wrong. But after I heard about this distortion of time, what if? And then last but not least, Weko is not talking to Rico anymore. She's talking to herself, let's say. And she's talking to Irumyu. We don't know who Irumyu is, but she's saying, you sent these kids here. Who is this Irumyu? Is it Liza who sent those kids at the bottom of the abyss to search for answers? I mean, maybe Irumyu is the translation of the name of Liza in their language. Or maybe Liza turned into Irumyu, and that's why we don't understand who that person is, or who that entity, that object, that thing is. Maybe. If it's not Liza, who that thing is, what that thing is. But the fact that he or she sent those kids here, it means that maybe it's a person. Or is it a relic? Is it, yeah, Liza? I don't know what else to think. Is it another white whistle? Or look, guys, as much as for what happened with Reg, that thanks to the white whistle, Rico was whistling and Reg was coming super fast to rescue her. What if even Liza, she is using the white whistle to attract Rico inside the abyss because that's the purpose. Another option is this Irumyu, the compass that we saw at the beginning of the episode and we saw even at the end of the episode, because inside of that relic there is that compass inside, even if it's so little. I could see it. I don't know if you could see it, but I could see it. And I think that Irumyu, I heard it even in the first episode, if I'm not wrong. I mean, this name, I heard it already. So if that's the compass, it might be because thanks to the compass, they can reach the abyss. They can reach the bottom of the abyss. And even Ueko could reach, thanks to the compass, the island in which they could find the abyss, and then even her curse. Is it Irumyu the compass? Is it Irumyu a person who was handling the compass? And then Ueko is saying to herself that maybe Reg is a resident of the Golden City. Oh, this is another great hint. Because what if Reg was living there with many others, together even with Faputa at this point? They were living peacefully over there until something happened that caused destruction, that caused lots of change, and Reg maybe exploded. We don't know what he did as a consequence. Maybe by seeing his population being cursed or being destroyed, he was losing his mind as much as for what happened other times, and he can't remember after that. Because maybe he was using a certain type of incinerator, so instead of sleeping 2 hours, he's losing his memories for months. But by being a resident of the Golden City, maybe this Golden City was attacked by something. And I don't think that was the Genja group at this point. Was it the Genja group? Maybe. Because the Genja group knew Faputa, and Faputa knew Reg. And Faputa was the guide of this Genja group, who took them down the abyss in order to reach the Golden City. But Irumyu, maybe it's Faputa. Faputa's name before becoming Faputa. And that's why, if that's a Faputa, Ueko is saying, Irumyu, did you take down those kids? But no, it doesn't make sense. The only sense that it makes is that maybe Faputa was asking Reg to go on top of the abyss and then find other kids so they could join the abyss once again. But if Reg is a resident of the Golden City, it means that something happened over there and the time stopped over there. For a certain reason that we don't know, and we will know from next episode for sure. Last but not least, Vasukian is scared in front of Reg. So that's why I'm telling you guys. What if Reg caused an explosion, caused something on them that they turned into hollows? What if he commanded that they could turn into hollows? I always told you this. Reg doesn't remember anything. What if he remembers that he was an evil character? What if he is an evil creature? What if he is even more evil than Bondordo? Because he is an interference unit. So he maybe was supposed to stop this Genja group. And then this Genja group wanted to get the revenge by stealing Faputa. And that's why Faputa was crying while she was taken away from him, maybe. But sincerely, Vasukian was scared. It means that Vasukian knows Reg. And maybe Vasukian was scared that Reg remembered what he doesn't remember now. Because if he remembers, maybe he is going to destroy all of them. The last fragments of the episode are essential. in my opinion, because you see this relic that is having even a heartbeat. That means that that relic is still alive, or is an alive relic, maybe. And the only person that I'm thinking regarding this might be Rico, because Rico was born, stillborn, and she was confined inside a relic in order to be revived. Who is this Irumyu? At this point, I hope that that's Liza. Who created that compass that we saw at the beginning of the season? I mean, I call it compass because it has a strange shape as if it's a compass. Why did Weko have it? Who created it? Is the creator of the compass the same creator of the Abyss? Or is that compass just a relic? And it's not a compass, I mean, I call it a compass, but maybe it's just a relic. And that's the same thing that now we see at the end of the episode, even if it's smaller, it seems. The last thing that Weko is saying is that Irumyu has an existence, desires, and memories. That's why I was thinking, what if that's Reg? Because even Reg has memories that he lost. He has desires that are pumping up when Rico is whistling. And he also has a desire that we still don't know because he doesn't remember. And he has an existence. What if that's Reg, Irumyu? Or yes, if we think about Liza, Liza has still an existence. Liza has desires because Liza wants that Rico comes to reach her. And she has memories of everything that she experienced. Last one, last option. What if Irumyu is Rico? Because that relic that we saw, if we talk about Rico as her existence, she was stillborn, but then she was revived by a relic, so maybe she has a desire, because she has the desire to reach the bottom of the abyss and understand things. And she also maybe collected memories, unconsciously speaking, indirectly speaking, thanks to the way in which she could climb up, thanks to the fact that she was confined inside that relic, and she could be revived. And she has maybe memories that that relic contained. Look guys, I don't know what that thing is, what Irumyu is, but it was so interesting to analyze all these episodes together with you today. It was a great journey as much as the previous episode, so sorry that this video will be super long. But thank you so much for the support guys. See you next week with episode 7 of season 2 of Made in Abyss. Keep subscribing to the channel and click on the notification bell. Bye guys, see you in the next video.